Hi guys, welcome back. Welcome to the show. So it's Tuesday today. So we're gonna do some chess strategy. This is black to play. I'm gonna start the. Okay. First of all, what is white's strat? Queen takes h7. Checkmate. So you have to be able to prevent that from happening. Is my computer not charging? All right, computer is charging now. Hmm. And the most obvious move is knight f6 to defend that h7 pawn at the same time attacking the queen. Like this looks obvious, but I don't know. I don't want to rush things because I rush chess puzzles before chess positions. Then I got the incorrect answers. Just like in your game, when you're playing a chess tournament, you don't want to rush your moves, especially when you're playing slow chess, or else you might regret it, rushing your moves. So, black also has this g6 to prevent the black white's light squared bishop, and to prevent white from checkmating black with queen takes h7. I'm gonna get some tea. BRB. Right. What else can we say about this position? After knight f6, what's going to happen? Maybe white can just play queen h4. And the knight... Oh, okay. Maybe I can go there too. The discovered attack against white's queen on h4. It's obvious it's knight f6. Maybe I can play g6. The idea is g6, then play bishop g7, followed by bishop f6, followed by bishop g7. Pretty good idea to challenge white's bishop on b2. The problem with g6 is it weakens this h6 and f6. We'll see, but wrong with knight f6. Maybe f5 is possible too. Google's timer is like pausing. I don't know the reason why. On pausing. Then when I when I click the Google Chrome, the timer page, it resumes. Weird. Can I play? F5 looks horrible. F5. If I play F5, now this E6 square becomes weak. Maybe the white knight can. Or also just double. Maybe not double. Oh yeah, it can double because the bishop is pinned. If the bishop moves, for example, here, F5 is just horrible. It's just between knight F6 and G6. Those are my options. It's the same situation, just simple. I mean, knight F6 looks good. In here, or against the white's queen, but white can just. Oh, it cannot even go to E4 because this bishop hangs. Yeah, it's gonna be a problem. Cannot go to E4. Bishop hangs. So that's a problem. Knight F16, Queen H4. And for example, okay, what about Bishop E6? Knight F6, Queen H4, Bishop E6. Just to cover black's rook. White's rook on E5. Looks good for black. I didn't see what else can white do. So Knight F6, Queen H4, Bishop E6, Rook AE1. There's the knight still cannot go and leave the H7 square. You can go Rook AE. Can go to E4. Yeah, I think the knight can go to E4. But after Bishop E6, what else can white? I mean, knight E. Knight I don't know. It looks artificial for white to double on the e file. Because it's kind of hard to penetrate that e file. Maybe we're g5, queen 8. Okay, queen h4, knight f6, queen h4, bishop e6. Rook g5 is horrible. Wait, it's not. Ah, it's a knight e4, right? Because now the bishop attacks the rook on g5. It pins it. Yeah, maybe g6 is knight f6 is the best move, not g6. And this game looks like from a Petrov defense or even French exchange variation. Weird timer. Google timer keeps on pausing, freezing. All right. Yeah, in well, black's looking good here after knight f6 and bishop e6. I cannot find any forcing line for white. Maybe I'm just missing it. So no sacrifice. Rook a e1, then knight e4. Then back to h5 and bishop f6. Ah, that's interesting. So bishop e6, rook a e1. Say. Then even bishop d6 will do. Knight e4, just queen h4. And the knight here on e4 pinned because bishop and the queen is going to we're gonna take the h7 pawn, then checkmate. So maybe knight e4 is not good. But I'm thinking bishop f6, bishop takes, then b takes e4, then rook takes e4, then just queen takes d2. Queen takes d2. Can it? Oh, it's fine, right? Yeah, I think it looks good for black. I'm not sure if my calculation is good, but it's just looking good for black after knight f6 followed by bishop e6. Another thing is this bishop, it's artificially placed. It's active, but usually the pawn is supposed to be here on d4, control the c5 and e5 squares. So I cannot believe that white has this decisive attack against black king. Oops. All right. Knight f6, queen h4, bishop e6, rook a1, knight 4, queen h6, knight takes e4, then bishop takes e, knight f6. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm satisfied with knight f6. I want to make sure that is correct. No nasty threats, no nasty surprises for knight f6. Okay. Maybe after knight f6, queen h4, bishop e6, I think the rook has to go back to e2 to avoid getting trapped on e5. That's what I think. And even after rook e2, I can just play h6, prevent the white queen from doing nasty checkmate. I think I'm fine with that. I don't trust white's setup to be decisive, artificial. All right, let's finish this one. All right, look at the answer. Go to the critical position here after queen h5. Black to move code. The previous decision regarding the pawn structure. The previous decision regarding the pawn structure to play d7 to d5 was easy. This time I have some different options like h6 or even g6, perhaps followed by h5. Followed by no f5. Yeah, g6 followed by f5. It is also possible to avoid all the pawn moves by playing knight f6. Okay, yeah, I mean that's my move, right? Knight f6. To me, the most natural move was g6. Oh, okay. What is wrong with what's wrong with this one? Okay, so knight f6 was played. By h6. h6 because it rolls out the possibility of moving f or g pawns later on. F or g pawns cannot. If push this one, then queen takes h6. If you push, like for example here, this one becomes weak. White can go here and do a battery. So he didn't think that H6 was a good move. What about G6? G6 to follow up with F7 to F5. Yeah, Bishop F6. Okay. Luckily, I had some sense of danger and felt that it is not impossible that White has something tactical. I used a lot of time and concluded that White was winning after, oh, Knight takes D5. Check. So GH5. Knight takes E7. Let's say King H8. Rook takes H5. Then that's interesting. So here, check. Here, just check. Oops. Then let's say here, covered in checkmate. Wow. Shoot. There's a knight takes D5. Nasty move there. Wow. I didn't see that one. So Grandmaster Axel Smith. This is a game between Stefan Christensen and the author Grandmaster Axel Smith. So G6, knight takes D5. C takes D5. Queen H7, check. And check here. Checkmate. Knight takes D5 is like, wow. What about, okay, Queen takes D5. Then Queen H7? No. If Rook takes D5, then G takes H7. Maybe Queen E2. Queen E2 followed by take this one, and in the same time threatening the queen. Is that the correct one? No, Queen H6. So now White has this. If White moves his rook, like for example, now it's threatening to go to G7. Oh, Queen H7 next. So the idea is, let's say here, then here, and black cannot take because it's pinned. And if after here, checkmate. So knight takes D5 is a wonderful move. I missed, sadly. What else can black do? Yeah, GH5. Yeah, GH5. I'm gonna turn on the Stockfish 11 chess engine. Okay, add more. So knight takes E7, the best move. And for example, King G7, then Rook takes H5. It's the same idea. Knight F6, then Rook H7, checkmate. Because black knight cannot take the rook, it's pinned. It's amazing. And also, of course, King H8, then Rook takes H5. That's the same idea. Yes. Then F6. Knight takes D5. I'm gonna turn off the chess engine now. Alright, so knight takes D5. I'm just curious, what is the best defense? So black's best defense is this one. But after Queen H6, yes, black needs to sacrifice the queen. Maybe here. Yeah. A bishop and a rook is not enough for the queen. Alright. Cool. Knight takes D5. Knight takes D5, a brilliant sacrifice. Queen H5. There's another note here, G6. G6 right here. What did G6? G6, knight takes D5. And fell behind the clock. On the other hand, from now, it is much easier to play with black. White's pieces are misplaced only for quiet attack. And if it does not work, they have to be regrouped. However, it would have been easier knowing the opening theory since the sacrifice has been. I want to change inline. How do I change this to inline? I can read everything. Okay, so G6. Luckily, I had some sense of danger. Okay, what about... So here, on the other hand, from now on, it is much easier to play with black. White pieces are misplaced only for a quiet attack, and if it does not work, they have to be regrouped. So I think knight f6 is the best move. However, it would have been easier knowing the opening theory since the sacrifice has been played before. So this knight takes d5 has been played before. So the author's idea is to know your opening to avoid this kind of sacrifice, or I think it's an opening trap. So knight f6 is the best move. Queen h4, bishop e6, yes. This is what I thought. Okay, bishop e6, rook g5. This is what I thought. Maybe g6 now? Yeah, I missed this rook g5 idea. It's ridiculous to put your rook and queen at the same time, you know. I can go here, knight. Yeah, now skewers the rook and queen. But knight e4, rook g7. Oh, knight takes e4. Then yeah, bishop takes g5. Knight e4, then knight takes e4. Bishop takes g5, then knight f6. Yeah, knight f6. Then, for example, bishop f6, then queen h7. Here. Now, white is threatening to take here, so. And and if, for example, g, the same thing. Huh. But, for example, here, knight takes, d takes, then rook g7. Queen h7, checkmate. So what is black's best move here? Yeah, this is tough. Maybe g6? Cannot go here, h6, because queen is just gonna take that, and cannot take with the retake with the pawn because it's and g6 is the only idea, the only. And it's kind of scary to play g6 because now the h6 and the f6 squares are weak. Yeah. Okay, f4. Maybe knight h. Knight e8. Knight g4 wins the exchange, but I did not like it. The a1 ha diagonal will be very weak. Knight e8. Okay. Knight e2. Knight g7. Again, I did not really consider taking the rook. Queen h6 stops black from playing f5. Threatening one with checkmate. And bishop f6. Okay, that was the idea. He was hesitant to take the rook because after, if for example black takes the rook, then bishop becomes a beast, a mighty beast, dominant. So not good to take that rook. Knight g7, queen h6, bishop f6. I mean, what do you do with a strong piece? You try to get rid of it. That bishop is very strong. Bishop f6, bishop takes f6 is a mistake. Quote, from strategical point of view, white is forbidden to exchange the dark squared bishop without getting something in return. If he does not succeed with his attack, his remaining pieces will just be misplaced. The position is critical since a piece exchange is taking place. White should therefore take his time to search for a better move. What is a better move? Bishop e5. Bishop to e5. The idea is if takes. Now there are three options for black. Queen b6, king h1, bishop f5. Oh, it's weird. Because after here, white is going to have a draw, at least. Maybe not. At least a draw. Maybe followed by rook f1, or even d4, or even here. I'm not sure. Yeah, it's highly dangerous for black. Queen b6 is not good. There's another one, f5. And after f5, after we push the pawn f5, this becomes weak. Because before the pawn was here, it's defending this bishop. After 5, good anymore. White has complete control of the dark squares. Also, f6, rook g6, bishop g6, and how to prevent white from checkmating on 7. Maybe move my rook. Still, move rook. Maybe I can go here. Here then. That's interesting. Oh, here, rook f1. Is that it? Yeah, rook f1. And white has a very strong attack. Let's turn on the engine. Okay, it's winning for white. What is the best move here? Oh, d4. Weird move. d4, bishop g8, queen 8. What about rook f1? What is the idea of this is painful to play as black. f5 and rook f1 and queen g5 and knight f4. It's weird that white is a rook up, but the computer says it's plus 7.2 Stockfish 11 chess engine. Why? What about here? G8. It's a strong attack. Queen h8. It's difficult to play. So, what is white's threat? Maybe ideas like h4 and queen here, then queen takes. Oh, no. Queen takes g7. King takes g7, knight h4. h4. Oh wow, then here, just keep on pushing the pawn and pressure this black's pieces. It's very difficult here. 6, and if you go 7, knight takes, queen takes, rook takes. Oh shoot, checkmate. Oh right, wow, that is some attack. That is some attack from white position, but rook takes g6 is a monster. Wow. No, it's amazing what computers can calculate. So rook g6, it's dangerous. It says they're dangerous for black. So bishop e5 is good, but what is black's best move? I'm gonna turn on the computer. Just c5. Bishop takes e5 is a mistake. Oh, it's fine, right? Yeah. Even just queen e7. Queen e7 here. Still unclear. It's better than the last three moves, especially like this one is horrible. Takes g6. Alright, it's interesting. Bishop e5. Then just take this one. Oh, queen takes e5 is in between move. And that one too. Okay, here. Because now I can take this one. And if rook takes, then queen takes, right? The problem is if I take right away, I think this one, yeah, rook takes f5 is a tactic. Then here, knight h5, yes. Threatening to take. Play queen g7 and knight f6. Wow, there's an in-between move. Queen takes e5, it's amazing. Wow. Amazing. What computers can see. Alright, let's go back to the game. I'm gonna turn off the chess engine now. So that was the best move. Let's see. Knight g7, queen h6. So white's best move is bishop e5. But after bishop takes f6, queen takes f6, rook f1, bishop f5, takes, knight takes, queen h3, maybe knight, rook a e8. Both with simple moves, black has to reach his dream. He controls the open file. White's rook on g5 probably has some sort of midlife crisis, not knowing what to do. The attack has petered out, but the rook cannot easily get back from 4, enter from center to control the open e file. Uncode. So queen d3, rook e4, knight g3, knight takes, and double. So queen takes g3 does now work. Queen d4 check, queen f2, then rook takes here. Because if takes here, then black is okay. Black is a pawn up. Queen g3, queen check, rook. No. Rook takes g3 is the best move. What's wrong with this one? Rook takes queen e3. No. Rook e3 with a reasonable drawing chances. Black's extra pawn is misplaced on the king side. And if he advances it, he will open up king's position. Okay, so this is like the best defense for white. Rook takes g3. So queen takes g3, queen d4. But in the game, h takes g3 was played. H here, g7, h6, queen f5, queen f3, and maybe rook e2. Yeah, okay, rook e2 is fine. Rook h4. Maybe I can go here. No, rook takes queen f5, rook h4. h4. Okay, no, that's horrible. You don't want to exchange your strong rook against white's passive rook on h4. Maybe a rook e2. Oh, rook takes f4 was played. Oh, it's weird. Boom, boom. No, it's not played. Rook f5 was okay. All right. Good. Rook f5. The black is a pawn up. Plus, you can go to e2. g1, rook e4. Question mark. Quote, I went for this piece exchange without much thought, not realizing that is a critical position. I should have done, since one of the characteristics for critical positions is exchanges. So rook e2 is a better move. Rook d4. Why not? Why rook e4 now? I don't get it. But before, if black played rook e4 right away, maybe white has this now. Or maybe white played here, king f2 after rook e4. Yeah, I think white played king f2 because the idea is to prevent the black rook from going to second rank. Maybe that was his idea, but so rook e2, rook e4, rook e4, cannot exchange rooks because white is behind material. Rook e1, king f2, a1, rook a3. Would have one pawn by force. So rook e4 is a mistake, king f2, king g6, rook h1. d4 was probably better. It threatens d4 to d3, so creating an outpost in e2, so white the rook can go to e2. Another highly critical moment, this time affecting the pawn structure. But instead of playing d4, Grandmaster Axel Smith played f4. g4, g takes f4 is a mistake. g4 prevents exchanges because if you in the game g takes f4 kind of help black to get rid one of its double pawns, but if white pushes the pawn, then black still has this double pawns. I have to take space on the queen side to improve my position, but white has a reasonable drawing chances. Okay, so g f4, rook f4, king here, f5, rook g1. After here, you're gonna go here, king f2, gonna go here and roll those e2, h4, f6, king here. Okay, queen, white is gonna queen, so e8. Check. The rook takes now, and force to queen. Okay. Quote, there were 4 critical positions for each player. Moves 18, 24, 32, and 34 for white, and moves 12, 15, 28, and 31 for black. It would have helped both sides to understand when they appeared. Okay. So that was interesting position. It's from, I was wondering, what kind of opening? This is a Petrov. Oh, it's an exchange variation. Oh, it's a Berlin. Oh, it's a Berlin. Okay, I'm just gonna turn on the Opening Explorer. Okay, so yes, this is a popular game because I can see games Eugene Torre versus Boris Gelfand 1994, Rivakin Dmitry versus Kobalya 2008, Viktor Gazik versus Balu Chaba. So very popular game, but I'm just wondering who played G6. So G6 was played between Ben Sneggy and Peter Markson in 2004. I'm gonna insert. What happened to that? Okay. All right. Hope you guys enjoy that one, and hopefully you would be able to improve your calculation. It's a good calculating exercise, and also what is the difference between playing g6 and knight f6 in this position. All right, I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.